Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to watch the video and spend some time with me today. Guys, today we're going to be talking about fishing points in the summertime, specifically points in the month of August. And there's some things about fishing points in the month of August that really you need to know, because depending upon the type of point you're fishing, as far as the angle, water clarity, it really dictates a lot of different techniques. So we're going to get into that in today's video. And also, guys, before we get started, one real quick thing related to points. One of my favorite point fishing lures in the summertime is this Megabass Dark Sleeper right here. I fish this thing, I throw it out there, let it hit the bottom, and I hop it back just like I'm fishing a jig. So it's a bottom bouncing lure. It sets really nice like that, like a little sculpin or something on the bottom. And I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description to the Dark Sleeper if you guys want to get one and try it. It's really good, probably my favorite point fishing bait in the month of August. Okay guys, now what I want to really focus in on is I want to focus on main lake points in the month of August. And all you guys that watch the channel here, you hear me talking about fishing points a lot, because guys, points are the best bass structure in any man-made impoundment. They're a natural highway as far as fish using them to move throughout the different parts of the lake. They offer great feeding opportunities to the fish. A lot of bait fish use them. A lot of access to deep water close by. I mean, it's probably the best feeding opportunity for bass that there is on a lake. So you're going to always hear me talk about points, but the thing about points is each one of them fishes different based upon the time of the year and the conditions that you have on the lake. So I want to sort of go over and give you my favorite ways that I like to approach points in the summertime of the year. In August specifically, because different times of the summer they use them differently. I keep referring it to the summer, but I want to talk specifically about August in this video. First of all, one of the things that you got to be on the lookout for when you're fishing main lake points in August is always look for schooling activity on them. Now, schooling activity is going to be more prevalent as the water gets clearer. So if you've got a dirty water lake, you're probably not going to have as much surface schooling activity. But if you have a lake that has over 3 or 4 foot of visibility, it's set up perfect to have some early morning or late evening schooling activity. Now they can be largemouth bass, spotted bass, or they can even be white bass mixed into there. But bass love to school on points up on the surface because a lot of shad move there during those conditions. So if you get out early in the morning or late in the evening, make sure that you've always got like a walking topwater lure. Walking topwater is a great lure to catch them on. When they come up schooling, you can cast it a long way. The fish hit it really good. Sometimes you can take a little swim bait and throw it into that school, let it sink down a few feet, because sometimes they're keyed on a little bit smaller bait fish. So always make sure to look for those schooling fish, especially on those calm days. Now, the next thing, let's talk about fishing main lake points in August during just the daytime, during the daylight hours. The techniques that you want to use and the approaches, again, are going to be based upon your water clarity. So if you're fishing a lake that has some off-colored water in it, say your water visibility on your point is less than 2 foot in visibility, that particular point is probably not going to be as good as other type of structures in the lake. One of the things I found out about fishing main lake points in the summertime is that main lake points are generally better in clear water lakes. Not to say that you can't catch them on them, but one of the things you need to look for if you're fishing a main lake point during the summertime of the year in August is look for a rockier point that's a little bit steeper. Most of the time, those fish are going to be closer to the bank in that off-colored water, and it just seems like to me if you've got some larger rock that are up on the bank that go out to maybe in 3, 4, 5 foot of water, those are always better structures. I've never really done that good in the month of August fishing dirty water, main lake points. If you've got clay point or gravelly point or small rock, it always works better with a larger rock and a little bit steeper point. And probably my favorite lure to fish on that situation is just take some type of a small crankbait, especially if you got some wind blowing on it. It's really going to be a bonus. That's probably the number one way to catch them in August. Now, if you've got clear water, say the water visibility is over 3 feet, 3, 4, 5, 6 feet of visibility, that offers you a lot more opportunities in the month of August. Probably my favorite way to fish them is I get out there off the point and I graph around and I look for any type of a drop off or any type of hard structure that's on the bottom, say a rock pile maybe somebody's throwing out some brush piles on it. And I'll fish those particular areas like with a Texas rig worm, like a big Texas rig worm, 8 or 9 inch worm on that hard structure. If you don't have the hard structure and you've got a clean bottom, regardless of the point slope on it, again, this is my favorite lure, this Megabass Dark Sleeper in the month of August. Take this Dark Sleeper out there, get your boat out in 15 to 30 foot of water, just fan cast it all over the end of that point and off to the sides of that point. Throw it out there. I usually use it on 8 to 10 pound test line. There's 3 different sizes. You guys can see in that link I put in the description. Throw it out there and just hop it. Just, give it a sharp pop off the bottom like that, where it comes up like that and sinks and comes up like that. And with the Dark Sleeper, you can cover a lot of water on those points a little bit deeper. Now, another thing is if you've got really clear water, say water visibility over 5 or 6 feet, that is when I really like the little swim bait, like a little, 2.5 inch Kitech or that Megabass 3 inch Spark Shad on like an 1/8 ounce head. If I graph over the point with my 2D sonar and I notice any bait fish out there, especially if those bait fish are down 5, 10, 15, 20 feet, I'll cast that little swim bait out off the ends of those points and just reel it down in the water column where I think most of those shad are going to be at. And that's another really good way to catch them. You can also catch them in the month of August just running shallow water, clear water points with a top water, like a whopper plopper or a walking top water. Sometimes you're going to have some bass in a clear water lake that get real shallow on those points. Doesn't have to have any wind on it, but they're up there looking for perch and different types of bluegill and crawdads. I've done pretty good at that at times. But and you can mix it up sometimes with like a Ned rig and a drop shot. But if you gave me my ideal scenario to fish points in the month of August, I would say there's 2 different scenarios. I'd want to have a lake that's got about 3 foot of visibility and get out there with a big worm in about, like I said, 10 to 20 foot of water and just fish everything out there. Or if it's clear water, I'll throw that Megabass Dark Sleeper. That's my favorite lure, or some type of a top water. That's the best 2 ways to catch them. So you can't go wrong with it, guys. Like I said, every lake is unique on how they use the points, because based upon the mix of bass that you have, like the lake, your mix of largemouth, spotted bass, or smallmouth, the percentage of each one of those species, the bass will relate differently to those points based upon those species. And again, your water clarity fluctuations, the amount of wind that you have, the sunlight levels, the sunlight angle, all that plays a role a little bit into it. So that's just a few tips there. I think it may help you guys out, and we'll check in later.